Olúwa, ògo yìí. Ògo yìí, Olúwa, ògo yìí. Má ṣe jẹ́ kó bàjẹ́, má ṣe jẹ́ kó dàrú, má ṣe jẹ́ kó bàjẹ́, Olúwa, ògo yìí. Good morning. Ẹ káàárọ̀. Tọwọ́tọwọ́ ni mo fi wá síwájú yín. If you look at what I've written, I said, ẹ̀yin abiyamọ ayé o, àgbàlagbà tán lẹ́yìn báyìí. You see this? This is Everybody Loves Jennifer. I'm here today to teach us what life is and how we should actually stand. Not necessarily because we're friends with people, but because we can see something special in them. Ta ló gbé mi wá? Èèyàn méjì ló gbé mi wá. Èèyàn méjì ló gbé mi wá torí mi ò ní fọwọ́ pa ojú egbò. Èèyàn kankan. Àti ìdàrú. It is well. I'm here today to acknowledge the efforts of Iyemesho, Lizzy Anjorin, Lizzy, ọmọ nìyẹn, aláàánú nìyẹn. When people talk about like ìgbà tọ́mọ Àbíkẹ́ yẹn purọ́ mọ́ ẹ pé ó sọ pé ó máa fòun sínú WhatsApp group warriors. Warriors don't have a WhatsApp group. We are all bosses unto ourselves. But I let me more. And we're dignified personalities. Ẹni tí ò tí ní, ó gbàgbọ́ pé ọjọ́ kan Ọlọ́run máa gbàdúrà wọn. So kò sérè nínú ká bà tẹni jẹ́. Iyemesho, I started following you and standing up as a voice, one of the voices for you. Because mo rí àánú ọkùnrin. Mo dẹ̀ mọ̀ pé gbogbo ìjà tó ti ń jà látọjọ́ ẹ̀ kò ju pé live your life and let me live mine, which is what every normal human being should fight for, the ability to live our lives. Ọmọ ni ẹ́, mo tún wá kọjá pé ẹni tó ń tẹ̀lé ẹ. Mo wá bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní máa fi tiẹ̀ tọrọ Chief Dr. Lizzy Anjorin. See, a lot of us think we know a lot, but then the naivety and the ability to see that people can be evil in certain ways, ó máa fẹ́ cloud judgment wa. Èmi ò tí rí irú eléyìí rí o, irú ogun tí Lizzy ń jà yìí. Because as time unfolds and I begin to see irú blessing CEO, ìyálà ìyá àwọn oníjìbìtì. Lizzy ògbẹ́gbẹ́. At the same time, mo ń rí tírú gbogbo àwọn tá à ń báyà ní industry, àwọn àǹtí tó fa America lẹ̀, tó mọ how things work, tó wá lọ Nigeria. Àwọn abudu gbogbo wọn, gbogbo yín. Tó jẹ́ pé ọ̀dọ̀ oníbàjẹ́ yìí náà ni gbogbo yín tún dúró sí. That's why the other day I was trying to teach. Pé the ones that are desperate enough are living intentionally. But ẹ̀yin máa ní mi ò bá ti yàn jẹ́ sọ wọn lè bá tèmi jẹ́, sóòótọ́ ni pé ẹni tá a bá bá tiẹ̀ jẹ́ ò lè bá tiwa jẹ́. Nǹkan tí Bíbélì kọ́ wa kọ́ yẹn. That's not what the Bible has taught us. But like I said, I'm here for a purpose. This took me a lot of thought and counseling to come before you to speak on this matter. Because it can make us sink. See, when Funke Akindele did that, she must be obeyed. There was a certain joy in my heart. Because before she did that, Dr. Chief Mrs. Lizzie Anjorin had been taking us on a journey to expose the blackmailing ring, the syndicate of predators in Nigeria that actually goes international, into the global realms. But everybody around me, Timba try to understand, they just dismissed it. The same way some of you dismissed in the olden days Judas until Tofijekun lo sheku pa Jesu. So we understand that we cannot be in the same on the same grounds. You're too steez with steez and elegant. You're too sexy and English and you're right. We're not the same thing as the children. They're innocent. But how are you? Atiro sana. Ìdajì wa gbogbo wa kàn sọ pé bó ṣe jẹ́ nìkan ni èyí tá lè fẹnu sọ ló pọ̀ jù nú ẹ̀. But it is well. I saw last night the same things that the Yoruba sins saw. Ẹ̀yin ọmọ Yorùbá. Mo gbóṣùbà fún yín. Tẹ́ wá dọlọ́run sínú ayé. Ẹni tẹ́ bá ní kí tí ẹ dá ló máa dá. Ẹni tẹ́ bá ló máa bàjẹ́ fún àfikún bàjẹ́ fún ráúráú. But mo rò pé ṣáà rántí. Ṣé rere lọ́lọ́run lò ẹ́ fún ni àbò ń fi ẹ́ ṣe pàṣọ́nà àwọn èèyàn kò mọ̀ pé kò ń fìyàn dáadáa ṣe pàṣọ́nà èèyàn burúkú ló máa ń lò. God allows certain things to happen because ọ̀nà tá tí ń tagiri ẹsẹ̀. Remember when Izzy Ogwegwe came out and said wọ́n fún ṣaṣẹ́wó wọ́n fún sí Italy gbogbo horrible stories tó kà sílẹ̀ tó were watered down. Because àwọn èèyàn kan dìde wọ́n sọ pé ọmọ tó bá ti ń jókòó jẹ ọmọ tó bá ti bàjẹ́ tẹ́lẹ̀ sílé ọmọ tẹ́nu òkà làwọn òbí yẹn yàn pé since tó yẹ pé nǹkan tó mọ̀ jẹ nìyẹn lọ fi pawó wálé. Does that make it right? No. So I always want us to look at the fact pé yàn ti ń rìn báṣubàṣu kò mí pé ká ti ṣubú. I heard on TikTok. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe ń sọ̀rọ̀ mi ò mọ̀ pé Blessing CEO mọ̀ Ìyábọ̀ me need there's anything wrong in it. But when two people with scandalous love style, I will never forget Mohbad's case. I will never forget Sam Larry's case. There are lots of things. Hey, come, give me a hug. Going to school? I love you. Come on. You look amazing. Okay. Go with Daddy. Oh, okay, you can take the Bible. You look amazing. Say hi to Miss Alexis. Okay. Nítorí àwọn tá ṣe ń gbélé ayé nìyẹn. Nítorí àwọn tá ṣe ń ṣe dáadáa. I'd broadcasted earlier and I was talking about what Tupac Shakur did that is resounding in greatness in the lives of the people. Even after he's been gone, Tupac has been dead for how long? Funke. Mo ń láti gba ṣé mo kó tá bá jọ ń lọ sí mo ṣe tẹ́lẹ̀ tó bá dàbẹ́ ní pé o fẹ́ yà sí kọ́nà Àjẹgúnlẹ̀. The people that you're with have a right to ask you. That's they say live your life. Damilola, bàbá mi ire o. They have a right. Damilola, bó ṣe rí mi ń sìn bí mo ṣe ń sọ̀rọ̀. Gbogbo àwọn nǹkan tí mo ti ń ṣe tó bá rí mi tí ń bá yàbàrà. You're right as my lover, my brother, a fellow Nigerian. And when I say my lover, I don't mean it in any dirty sense. Èmi àti ẹ ti ríra ń sìn. Probably Sabaka, I'm at my 20-something years. That's ríra sójú even dájọ́ dàgbà ní ilé ìkẹta sílé yín. Sílé mi lájọ́ dàgbà sí. Ọlọ́mọdé òmùgún ó pèlẹ́ fọ́. Dámilọ́lá, ọwọ́ mi bọ̀. The connectedness of evil. Mo ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ wá rí jà tí Lizzy Anjorin jà ni. Àwọn Blessing CEO Izzy Ogwegwe, those are the Delta faction, the Igbo, àdìpọ̀ wọn ní Igbo faction. Kí n máa wá rí wọn pẹ̀lú àwọn tí wọ́n ń gbàdúrà tó jẹ́ kán wà lórí ìkúnlẹ̀ pẹ̀lú Ọlọ́run pé kó ṣe fún wọn tán tí ì ní tó. Àwọn ọmọ TikTok, àwọn ọmọ gbá, àwọn ọmọ àwo, irú àwọn pẹ́lá ìyàwó tọmọ tó yin Abraham, gbogbo wọn ẹkùn tó mọ́ra yín, and it has become a network. But kí lẹ́ ń lò fún? Desperation wo lẹ́ ń lò fún? Bó ṣe máa dà fẹ́ lómìn àbí bó ṣe máa bàjẹ́ wo lẹ́tọ́wọ́pọ̀? See, last night party Ìyábọ̀ ni. Ìyábọ̀, Tóyìn Abraham àti Fúnkẹ́ Akíndélé wọ́n mọ nǹkan tó ń lọ lábẹ́lẹ̀, wọ́n mọ nǹkan tó ṣẹlẹ̀. Mo wá rí pé ìjà lára yẹn tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ not necessarily pé èèyàn kọ̀ ọ̀sẹ̀, but nítorí pé èèyàn wà ń gbà mí kò dá sí. Dámilọ́lá, when you see a tsunami coming, o ò ní dúró kó gbé ilé kìíní mi, ilé kejì, ilé kẹta, ilé kẹjọ tó fi máa dọ́dún ẹ. Bó ṣe ń bọ̀ yẹn, o lè má lè ran àwọn tó bá lọ́wọ́, bọ̀ tó jẹ́ kó ran àwọn tó fẹ́ lọ dé bá. I have learned to speak up in great ways patiently after having prayed about. Kọ́lọ́ ń fún mi ní voice tí máa fi sọ̀rọ̀ tí ó máa fi resonate ní life. Nǹkan tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ yìí kò sẹ́ni tí ò lè ṣẹlẹ̀ sí. Ṣé when Lizzy came out ẹnu ó ṣe pé ìyẹlé pé Lizzy sọ̀rọ̀ ju ha. Ìgbà tí mo wá rí bí gbogbo wọn ṣe connect ní industry yẹn, ẹ̀rù bà mí. Igbo connect mọ́ Yorùbá. Lórí ọ̀rọ̀ Lizzy, Nigerians in diaspora connect. Lórí ọ̀rọ̀ Dr. Chief Lizzy Anjorin Lawal. Àwọn tó wà nílé high class, low class, wọ́n connect. Ọlọ́run wá fún ní orí ọ̀fẹ́ kan. Àwọn tó wá gbé dání nílé, àwọn ìyàwó Haúsá, ìyàwó foreigners, wọ́n wá bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní máa patronize ẹ̀. Nǹkan tó fẹ́ jẹ́ kí n dá sọ̀rọ̀ yìí ò pọ̀ rárá. Ní ṣókí ni, I will never be disloyal. I will never be found to be missing in action in the lives of the people that matter to me. Pẹ̀lú gbogbo bullets tí mo lè take, gbogbo risk tí mo ń take. I'm here today to tell Lizzy Anjorin and the warriors, thank you for standing up, and to advise the camp of Funke Akindele, if I may, in all humility. You wrote, she must be obeyed. Ó ní nǹkan tó rí náà. Ó rí pattern Gistlover tó rí tó gbé jáde fojú aráyé. Ẹni táráyé wá mọ̀ as Gistlover. Ó mà ṣe o. Ògo yìí, Olúwa, ògo yìí. Ògo rẹ̀, Olúfúnkẹ́, Olúwa, ògo rẹ̀. Fúnkẹ́ Akíndélé. Má ṣe jẹ́ kó bàjẹ́, Ọlọ́run ò ní bògo ẹ jẹ́. Má ṣe jẹ́ kó dàrú. Má ṣe jẹ́ kó bàjẹ́, Olúwa, ògo yìí. Náà tún wá tẹ̀lé pẹ̀lú orin kan tá a ti mọ̀ láti kékeré. Ẹni tọ́lọ́run bá ti dá ńkọ́, wọ́n ní kò ṣe é farawé. But tọ́lọ́run bá ti dá ẹ tán, tí ìwọ ò ṣe é farawé, tí ìwọ fúnra ara ẹ wá ló ń farawé àwọn tí ò tó ẹ. Wọ́n ló ń ṣakọni, kò dáhùn ni, wọ́n kì kò gbà ni. If you're big, you're big. Ó ṣiṣẹ́ débẹ̀ ní àwọn òjì, ó jáwọ́ bẹ̀. The only mistake tó ṣe, Funky, ó fura. Yorùbá dẹ̀ tún máa pa àwọn á ní tí ọ̀rẹ́ ò bá sóúnjẹ ìgbà ọ̀la ní jóúnjẹ ọ̀tá, èmi ò ní jóúnjẹ ọ̀tá tí màá fi kú, màá rádà kíbi pa mí kó tètè pa mí kọ́sọ́ postpone ní kó ẹni. Ọ̀tá máa fi ríra sínú oúnjẹ, á fògùn sínú oúnjẹ, ó lè fògùn áyán sí kó lọ kú dànù. You never should compromise your dignity. And the minute you compromise your principle and standards, I was talking to a friend this morning. I didn't want to do this. This is costing me a lot to come out here to speak on this matter. Because nǹkan tẹ́yin Yorùbá ń pè ní fracas. Ẹ̀yin kọ́ dẹ̀ fi pẹ́ ti jù yẹn lọ. Ẹ fẹ́ rí àwọn ọmọ yín bẹ́ẹ̀, ẹ fẹ́ rí àwọn ìyàwó yín bẹ́ẹ̀, ẹ fẹ́ rí. But ẹ̀yin fúnra ara yín ẹ̀gbẹ́ tí kúrò ń bẹ́ẹ̀. Gbogbo nǹkan tó ṣẹlẹ̀ lẹ́ ń rí. Gbogbo ẹ̀ lẹ́ ń sọ̀rọ̀ sí. Gbogbo ẹ̀ lẹ́ ń tàbí táwọn ọmọ yín ò mọ̀. Ìyẹn ni àwọn àgbà tó lọ́gbọ́n ń pè ní alábòsí. I've lived that life for a long time because nǹkan tí mò ń dá sí àti irú level tí mo ti wá address issue from the root core, which is what a normal human being would do, but akọ wa ó ti jẹ́ ká lọ bẹ̀rẹ̀ láti level 20 àwa ignore kòkòrò tó ń jẹ́fọ́ yẹn tó bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní gbàgbà pẹ̀lẹ́fọ́ àti wá sọ ayé wa di ìgbà tẹ́fọ́ yẹn bá wá kúrò lórí igi tó kó stop nìkan làwa ń dá sọ̀rọ̀. I haven't ever met Funke Akindele. I've spoken to her a couple of times on the phone. Funke, normally, personally, is an amazing person in real life. Honestly, kò sẹ́ni tó lè pàdé ẹ̀ tó lè hate ẹ̀. Ọmọ tó dá ni, ọmọ tó lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ ni, ọmọ tó gbọ́ràn ni, ọmọ tó láàánú. Ẹ wo tó bá ń ṣe at that end of Christmas àbí tó bá ń ṣe ó ń kọ́ àwọn èèyàn jọ mí sọ pé àwọn èèyàn burúkú àwọn èèyàn dáadáa tó ń kàwé tó ń kọ́gbọ́n àwọn tó ní fún tó lè kánná nínú industry ní Funke ń kójọ. Àwọn táyé ti fẹ́ gbàgbé tó ń fẹ́ daṣọ lé lára wọn ìyẹn náà wà nù wọn tí Funke wú wọn jáde. Bó ṣe ń ṣe across the music industry bẹ́ẹ̀ ló ṣe ń ṣe across the comedy across everything. Ó mà ṣe Ọlọ́run fi ọ̀run kẹ́ ìyá Lizzy àti ìyá Funke. Ìyàtọ̀ ń bẹ ni pé mi ò ní purọ́ fún yín. Tí èmi bá kú kí n kú ní wákàtí ọ̀wọ̀ tó ń bọ̀ yìí. Irú bí ìyá Lizzy ṣe dúró tán tó jẹ́ pé gbogbo ọgbọ́n tó kọ́ mọ́ ẹ̀ kò gbàgbé ó ní mo gbàdúrà fọmọ ẹyọ kan tọ́lọ́run fi kẹ́ mi. Funke ó tọrọ òní ní kọ́ máa sọ wọn and it's not my place. I don't have a right to advise you. Olówó jù mí lọ. Àwọn ọmọ mi ti jata wọn ti jẹpo ẹ̀. Àánú tó ní ayé ẹ̀ sí wọn directly. Sí aláti lè máa sọ ó tọrọ and I always know pé timing everything. This is the time. It's a time of truth. Èèyàn tó dáa ní ẹ́ ìyá mi. But tá a bá lọ́gbọ́n tá a bá nímọ̀ àbí tá a nímọ̀ tá a lọ́gbọ́n tá a fi kán lẹ́nu méjèèjì a máa tẹ̀. And some of my friends wọ́n máa sọ but public place ló wà public space ló wà ìgbà tí Tóyìn Abraham tẹ̀ lọ́kí lánàá ó jẹ́ kí Funke tẹ̀lé pretend tó lè dáhùn kó lè dáhùn pé Funke ni. Tó o bá ṣẹ́ mi kọ̀kọ̀ that's what my mother used to tell me. Ìyá tó bí mi ni mo jọ. Kálejò wádé tó máa kúnlẹ̀ wọ́n máa sọ̀rọ̀ á ní ẹ̀fílẹ̀ ọmọ tí ò gbọ́ràn mú ṣe bá wí tán ni. Wàá tú mi láṣọ ní gbangba. Wàá wá lọ fi aṣọ àrán aṣọ òkè the most expensive material bò mí nínú ilé. Mi ò ní gbà ẹ́ láyè o. Àbí kó o tú mi láṣọ nínú ilé tó o ti fipá jì mí kó o fi nù mí. Kí n wá rí opportunity àti kí gbé síta fáyé bó ṣe rí. Mi ò ní bò ẹ́ o. Ìyẹn kọ́ náà ń pè mí pé à ń bo àṣírí à ń fìyà jara ẹni ni because à ń fún ìkà ní agbára. See when Funke as a follower and a big huge fan till tomorrow of Lizzy Anjorin Lawal, she had been opening her eyes to certain things and it had costed her a lot. Ó ti talé fáwọn èèyàn tán ti dáwọ́ padà wọ́n ti fọkọ bú wọ́n ti fọmọ bú wọ́n ti porú ọmọ wọ́n ti jà lólè wọ́n ti fẹ́ pa. And Funke came out with She Must Be Obeyed. I was rejoicing because I thought now Lizzy had a second backing voice. Tó ẹ pé ó lè la ojú Nàìjíríà bọ́ sí rọ́. Funke bó máa ṣe She Must Be Obeyed. Ìṣe ló máa bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní bá gbogbo àwọn tọ́rọ̀ yẹn bá wí. Wọ́n dẹ̀ bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní bá iṣọ́ rẹ̀. Ó ò dẹ̀ lè láàánú sí wọn lẹ́yìn ilẹ̀kùn. Ó wá rò wọ́n sórí bí gálà. Ọ̀gá ni wọ́n. Ọ̀gá wọ́n máa gba orí ayé ẹ wọ́n máa gba ìyà ayé ẹ gbogbo àwọn tó ń tẹ̀lé ẹ at least wọ́n pè mọ́ pè mí ó ní iye tí mo ti bá sọ and I never chat but when certain people call me mo mọ̀ pé there must be fire on the mountain. We don't talk every day. Sometimes we go 6 months a year without talking but wọ́n bá pè mí màá tẹ́tí jòjòló sílẹ̀ màá dẹ̀ gbọ́ nǹkan tó fẹ́ bá mi sọ. Funke ó ṣiṣẹ́ débẹ̀ ni. Bí n ṣe ń wọ̀ ẹ́ lójoojúmọ́ tó ń struggle wọ́kọ̀ náà ní director wọ́n ní producer wọ́n ní stylist wọ́n ní makeup artist wọ́n ní kíníkan wọ́n ní gbà wọ́n Ọlọ́run fún ẹ ní grace to bring your team together to create magic on screen. You teach us and write us and bá ṣe dàgbà tó, I'm 58 mo jù ẹ́ lọ, but pẹ̀lú ẹ̀ mo ṣe kọ́gbọ́n lára ẹ̀ lójoojúmọ́ ni. Mi kì í bọ́pọ̀ nù ni. I never follow those I don't respect. Ó wá lọ slow. Ó mọ tó bá gbọ́ nǹkan kan rárá, tó tiẹ̀ dá sọ̀rọ̀ Lizzy Anjorin rárá, ó máa gbọ́ ti Mohbad. Ó gbọ́ ti Fọlá Tinubu. Funke, I love you so much. And by coming out to talk, I have more to lose than to. I have so much to lose than to gain. But I have to stand on the side of truth. Èmi àti àwọn sọ̀rọ̀ ju ẹ̀mejì mẹ́ta lọ through my kids. But I worry about you. O ti lose guard. O ti take life too easy. Mo mọ̀ pé tí mom sì bá wà láyé, you will never have lived like that. Àṣírí wo náà lè ní? Àbọ̀yọ̀ báyọ̀ kan sùn òṣèkìní kan yẹn ní kíni òsínlẹ̀ ọkọ yẹn. He who had not committed that sin or similar or another form of sin, let he or she cast the first stone. We have to be careful. Where we're trying to self-preserve, not to sell a birthright. Ìwọ ni ayé mọ̀ ní number one. Ọ̀gá làwọn tó ń bá ṣe. The chameleons. Wọ́n máa ra ògo ẹ̀, wọ́n máa bọ́ ògo lọ́rùn ẹ̀. Wọ́n máa gbé sọ́run ara wọn. At the end of the day, kò sí bọ́n ṣe lè wọ ògo ẹ̀ tó. Wọ́n máa fi ṣàbàṣà ní. Àwa jẹ́ pé wá bọ́ sí neutral, gbogbo yín wá wà ní the same down low. These are wisdoms you should have learned from Lizzy Anjorin. Tó o bá tiẹ̀ gbèjà Lizzy rárá, tó o dá sí, táyà ń já, wàá dẹ̀ stay neutral. Ó stay neutral Funke. Ex-girlfriend Lizzy, wọ́n pè sínú movie fún ẹ. Gbogbo wọn ṣe bí ẹni pé àmọ́, they're not connected. No, darling. The world has become a global village. They're very much connected. Mi ò dé ìsàwọn tí ó kàwé o. Because history wà, ibi tó jẹ́ pé òbí mi ló ti di ọmọ ẹ̀ lọ́wọ́. Kí ló fẹ́ ṣe? Ọmọ ò lè dá rán ra ẹ̀ lọ sí school, òbí ló rán ọmọ. Tó bá dẹ̀ jẹ́ pé lóòótọ́ ni ọmọ yarí tí ò gbọ́ràn, wọn ò lè pọ̀ tó yẹn tí ò gbọ́ràn. Ọmọ ò bá kàwé akọ́ṣẹ́, tó bá dẹ̀ kọ́ṣẹ́ tán kò ń ṣe certificate ẹ̀ la need. The effort they put into iṣẹ́ yẹn láti jẹ́ kí iṣẹ́ yẹn di oúnjẹ fún wọn, ó matter. The same way tí wọ́n mọ̀ láti reap irú àwọn Kàmó, àwọn Two-Face tó ń gbé wọn sí movie, gbogbo àwọn Eniola Badmus, gbogbo àwọn tó kàwé, tó ń dù, tó ń lọ sí acting school, àbí tó ń ti gba passage of acting school kọjá, tó ń bá gbà in the standard way of getting a degree, wọ́n gbà láti dúró sábẹ́ tutorship kan. The same way ni the other person ló fi ń ṣàwọn lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ títì, bus stop ló ti ń he wọn, àwọn ọmọ aláìgbọràn, àwọn abatẹnijẹ́ láti lè control wọn. You have to know that the two forces in this world, kò sí bó ṣe lè innocent tó. Níbo ló tó sí? Fúnra ra ẹ̀. There's a place in the Bible that says that when men lie to themselves enough, it says, God will give them up to their delusions and their lies will become the truth. I want you to note God's word. God did not make them crazy. God did not force them into delusion. It says He, as the God that recognizes your right to have your will give you up. God is good all the time. God is good all the time. God is good all the time. See, the lack of reality is in the moments and in the times and the lives of people. Tamama blame moti gbọ́tẹ̀yàn kan sọ fún ẹni tọ́mọ ẹ̀ kú pé nítorí wọn gbàdúrà tó ní ìyá yẹn dìde ó fàṣọmọ yà láyà. Wanting to fight for God, thinking we know Him like He should be known, kò jẹ́ ká wà objective about a lot of things in our lives. No matter how good you are, ṣé Jóòbù dání? Jóòbù dání, eh? He was a man after God's heart. But ìgbà tó ń go through àdánwò yẹn, kẹ́yìn náà máa worú àdánwò tọ́lọ́run wá ṣe fún. Ó pọmọ, ó pàyàwó, ó gbalé, ó sọdọ̀ oníhòhò. kó ṣe tó wá replace ẹ̀. Ṣé wá fẹ́ sọ fún mi pé after tọ́lọ́run wá fún Job ní new wife, new car, new house, new children, ṣé ẹ feel pé kò rántí àwọn ọmọ tó sọnù lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀ ni? Ṣojú àpá lè dàbí ojú ara. Ọlọ́run wa yìí náà bá ṣe ń gbéga tá à ń bọ̀wọ̀ fún òun náà ò ní ká purọ́ mọ́ òun. Ẹni tọ́lọ́run bá fẹ́ fi ṣe pàṣán á dẹ̀ mọ́mọ́ sọ́díkà, á jẹ́ kíkà tó ń ṣe láyé á jẹ́ kó gbé mi. The other day, they released some people from prison. And the judge here, l'America, ó dẹ̀ ń sọ fún. Only, sir, it's unfortunate, but you know, after we have done our investigation, after 40 years in prison, 30 years in prison, 20 years in prison, we have discovered these are different lives. At least 4 or 5 of them on that video I watched. The court has found out that you were wrongfully accused. These people were well into their 70s, 80s, okay, and they controlling, or to fall back when they just say you're free to go. Where do I go? I don't have anybody. I don't know what to do. I don't know where to go. Miscarriage of justice. It happens every day here. For those of you around the world thinking that America is perfect, it's not. They make the same mistakes at home. The only thing is they're not ashamed to apologize for it and try to compensate the lives that they have destroyed. But I digress. I've heard people on TikTok, on also, go fine, waste that shit, funka kedele fine, kilo wo gan, ko she kini kan, shojojumo la mura bi omo oba ni. Omo oba gan na ma ro to well. And relax. You don't know. Certain weightlifting, for instance. Mwamani, the range from 20 to 25 pounds. Let God give you the eyes, the mind, to know how to evaluate beauty in all the things that He has created. Te bagbe, ale, segbe aro, ema machine. All things bright and beautiful. And Funke Akindele is bright and beautiful. And while ugly or shaking con just because or ignore Tony Abraham, stop putting people on pedestal. Tony, out of all of them, is actually the toughest. All those people have a history of drug addiction and sleeping with people's husband and lying on people and doing fracas. Funke doesn't. Bó ṣe wá jókòó tán fẹ́ fi epo tasáṣọ àláì òun lèmi wá sọ láàárọ̀ yìí. Kò rán mi iṣẹ́ kò bẹ̀ mí, ó lè bínú pàápàá. Kò sí nǹkan tí Fúnkẹ́ release testimony from behind the scenes to everybody loves Jennifer. Gbogbo t-shirt, gbogbo nǹkan tó ní ni mo ní. Mo dẹ̀ ti jẹ́po, mo ti jata indirectly. Mi ò délé ẹ̀rí, mi ò rí rí. I've only spoken to her on the phone, but she's kind to my children around me. Gbogbo àwọn ọmọ artist yẹn, gbogbo àwọn ọmọ singers yẹn, gbogbo wọn kàn bá lọlé, wọn need láti sanwó hotel. Fúnkẹ́ máa fún wọn ní flat ibi tán máa dé sí, ó tún máa fún wọn driver. Tọmọ náà lọlé, ó dẹ̀ ń tọ́jú wọn, and they come back here health and healthy. Ẹ̀yin tẹ́ kàn wá lórí social media. Nǹkan tó ń ṣe wá ni pé a mọ̀ pé somehow gbogbo wa la mọ́ra la wà interconnected. I was talking to one of my sisters today in Ireland. Olóhun ò ní purọ́, mi ò ní purọ́ fún ẹ. Mo ti jẹ́po, mo ti jata fún kẹ́rí o. Ìgbà tí mo lọ sílé, ọ̀dọ̀ ẹni mo dé fún 3 days. Somebody so amazingly generous. Nǹkan tó ń ṣe fún Kẹ́ ni pé kò tí ì mọ situation ibi tó ń tẹ̀sẹ̀ sí. Just like Biola Adebayo. Ṣé notice pé gbogbo àwọn wonderful great people bí Lizzy ṣe ti wọ́n wá sílẹ̀ tó wà láàrin àwùjọ làwọn people yìí máa ń fẹ́ try láti lọ kó dọ̀tí bá. Wọn ò ní talent tó jinlẹ̀ to write stories and productions tó lè ṣe mi àti yín ní fìlà tó lè kọ́ wa lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ tá a lè wò pẹ̀lú àwọn ọmọ àtàwọn ọmọ wọn olóṣó aṣẹ́wó àwọn fàlọ́ndìyà wọn fà. That is not going to be a global topic because gbogbo ala ní hóhó. All I need to do, Damilola, Charles Iyere, all you need to do is strip yourself naked and stand before the mirror. There is nothing new under the sun. But the ability to make it sound interesting and fascinating, to draw attention is a gift. And if you dare let that gift go, you would wish you were never born. When you're used to eating from a silver platter and you find yourself picking up from the street, there's a difference. It doesn't matter how much you cope and how resilient you are, you will still miss the palaces that closed up against you. So I'm here for you to beg. Not necessarily the people screaming on TikTok. To the people that are on my level with steez and class, you people that have loved Funke Akindele, because that was the first notion to kọ́kọ́ dé sí mi pé mo mọ̀ pé mo love ẹ, mo mọ̀ pé ọmọ tó láàánú ni, but ọmọ tá bá ti kọ́ tí ò bá ti gbọ́ kó lọ sí títì kó lọ forí kó mi wálé. But we can't do that. So voices like me that love Funke Akindele will have to arise and know the truth about how the social economic status and the Nollywood fracas and all those evil devilish people have decided to come out and take the mantle fún ọwọ́ àwọn ọmọ tá nífẹ̀ẹ́ tá kọ́ àwọn ọmọ tó gbẹ̀kọ́ tọ́lọ́run nífẹ̀ẹ́ sáyé wọn tán dẹ̀ fẹ́ mọ́ ọmọ. There was, look, years ago, if you have lived, I lived at number 12 Independence Street and Ofoshi when I first got married to my husband. That was the place. Ilé àwọn mínú tí mo máa fi ṣe example fún yín pé wọn ò ní tap, wọn ò ní water system. After tí mo débẹ̀ náà ṣe water system tí mo fi kúrò bẹ̀ wọ́n ṣe tap. Tí n bá rẹ́ni lu àwọn omi fún mi máa ń gbé omi sórí. I will put water on my head. Láti pọn wá sínú ilé. My father, all through the time I was living there with my husband, kó tó di pé Ọlọ́run ṣòwò fún wa dẹni tó ń kọ́lé tó ń gbé 3 bedrooms. My father never came into my home because ó fi pé ládùúrú gbogbo owó tóun ti ná lé mi lórí ibi tí mo fẹ́ fàyè mi tì sí nìyẹn. But abiyamọ, when I say abiyamọ, kò ń ṣe obìnrin tó fi òbò pé ọmọ nìkan ni o. Ẹ̀yin bàbá wa, ẹ̀yin ẹ̀gbọ́n àbúrò mi tó jẹ́ ọkùnrin tòótọ́, ọkùnrin gidigba, ọkùnrin tó láàánú, tọ́lọ́run fi àánú àbúrò, àánú ìyá àtàánú àwọn ẹ̀gbọ́n tó jẹ́ obìnrin sí yín lọ́kàn. Abiyamọ tòótọ́ lẹ́yìn náà. Abiyamọ nìyí. Ẹni tí ó bá ti fẹ́ kí nǹkan bàjẹ́ mọ́ ọmọ ẹlòmíì lórí, tí ò ń ṣe tọmọ ẹnìkan ló ń dùn, abiyamọ gidi ni. Abiyamọ nìyí. Tọwọ́tọwọ́ ni mo fi ń sọ láàárọ̀. Abiyamọ nìyí. Ṣé mo wá dúró jẹ́? Mi ò dúró jẹ́. Ṣé ó padà wá lẹ́yìn tó ti ṣe gbogbo nǹkan tó fẹ́ ṣe tán? Ó padà wá. Èmi ni mo sọ pé mo jù bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ. Sometimes we don't know the values of our parents. Ìbàjẹ́ ìyá, ìbàjẹ́ bàbá nínú ayé wa. Because àwọn nìkan náà lè pè wá sí yàrá bó bá gbá wa létí bá ṣe dàgbà tó yìí. Bọ́mọ mi bá tiẹ̀ lóhùn ya wèrè tó bá gbá wọn létí ìkíní padà kò ní lè gbá wọn kejì. Ayé òbí lára ọmọ. So I said to my friend, I said, I need to say something on this matter. I'm not going to undershadow this one. I need to speak up. Because one day I too will be gone. And perhaps the powers around my son and the stronghold of foolish friends will overcome and overtake his wisdom. God, if nothing else, let the struggles within my heart before I came out to speak for Funke Akindele speak for me. Let it speak mercy. Let it awaken kindness and favor in the hearts of the people that ordinarily, if there was no voice like mine, would have buried her alive. Ọmọ tó dá ní Funke. Ọmọ tó mọṣẹ́ ṣe ní Funke. Ọmọ tó láàánú ní Funke. I don't know what they have on her that she has decided not to say something, or maybe they don't, maybe it's just her way of doing things. But Ọlọ́run á kọ́ gbogbo àmọ̀ṣe. Warriors, Yeye Mẹ́ṣọ̀, tọwọ́tọwọ́ ni mo fi wá. Ẹ jẹ́ ká fàánú lò. Lizzie, I always see mercy in you, even if people see fire. Èèyàn tó dá ní ẹ, abiyamọ òtítọ́ ní ẹ, ibi òtọ́rọ̀ ló dúró sí. That's why you mind your lane so much and you don't go for people who don't come for you. Ó ṣe Yeye Mẹ́ṣọ̀, ó ní ṣìṣe, adé orí ẹ ò ní ṣí dànù, ilé ẹ ò ní dàrú, ọ̀tá ò ní borí ẹ, àjọmọ gbogbo wọn bó ṣe lè pọ̀ tó, wọn ò ní rí ẹ gbé ṣe, wọn ò ní rí ẹ mú. gbogbo àdàbí tó ń pè lórí àwọn ọ̀kà pátápátá gbogbo ẹ̀ ló máa ṣẹ o. See, it's like when two of your children are fighting. How do you as a mother come in and fairly make your statement without losing one? Even if you see someone at fault, how do you as a mother not blame them or condemn them? How do you give blame without destruction? How do you give blame to reconcile rather than to separate your legacy? I love these two women so much. And I've never been one to ask you to do what I do. I want you to vote your conscience and speak your conscience. But if your conscience is steeped in foolishness and too much of self-preservation, I also, as somebody that cares, has to come out and say, show your handwriting, yeni. Set up lano now. Okay. Set up. Oh, di pe jo yabo yato ni. Lẹ́yìn tó ti lójú camera tó ti ignore Tóyìn ò rí ni. Ó rí pọ̀ gà láwọn tó wà around there ni. Bá aṣọ ògo ẹ, aṣọ yìí ẹ, aṣọ tọ́lọ́run fi bò ẹ́ lára náà fẹ́ ṣí bọ́. Ó tí ì rí ni. Pé wọ́n ti bà yé ara wọn jẹ́ pẹ̀lú fracas, pẹ̀lú àwọn Esabod, gbogbo àwọn Mama Sita, gbogbo àwọn people yẹn, wọ́n ti bà reputation wọn jẹ́. Ìwọ tó wá dá dúró tó rò pé bákan ló ṣe jẹ́ tí movie ẹ̀ ń tà. Ìwọ náà wá rí mọ́. O dẹ̀ wá ní wisdom. Tó bá máa bá wọn ṣe kó bá wọn ṣe lẹ́yìn ilẹ̀kùn. Live your life. It doesn't matter. I'm a man of my sharing nǹkan tó ń ṣe a lot of us in our 40s and 50s ni pé ààrẹ ní bá wa wí mọ́. A ti ń pa owó kò dẹ̀ sẹ́ni tó ń bọ̀ wá. So ìka kan wọ̀ wá ń dè é. Ọmọ tí ò bá fẹ́ káyé òun parun, ó jẹ́ kó mọ̀ pé ó jẹ́ kó sì láwọn oníbàwí, àwọn asálọbá, àwọn adélọbá. Àwọn ọ̀yà agbanilágbàtàn, àwọn bàbá tọ́n bá tiẹ̀ lówó fún wa, tọ́n láṣọ lọ́rùn tó wá, tó yẹ pàkísà náà ń wọ̀, ó jẹ́ ká láwọn nǹkan ta fi pamọ́ tá à ń gba òwe iyì lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀. Tá à jẹ́ kí I'm beautiful, she's lovely, she takes my breath away, which is what is happening in some of your homes as chiefs and husbands, as chairman of certain occasions. Tó bá pè ní Adémi, èmi ló ń pè l'Adémi. Orí mi fi, because your wife did not call you chief. Before you got those chieftaincy titles, she was calling you your name. See, to the outside world, you must always remain chief because aṣọ yẹ ò ní fàya. Mo ní tó bá wọnú lé, ó jẹ́ kí baby ẹ lè pè ní heartbeat. Hi darling, hey sweetie, báwo ni? Jọ sáré bá mi mú ṣíbí yẹn. Àwọn ọmọ ẹ̀ ń ké o, bá mi mú napí lókè. Your people, those that still see you as regular human and not God unto yourself, should still be able to be free with you. You understand? Rí bá wọn mọ Yèyé Mẹ́ṣọ́, Lizzy Anjorin bó ṣe ń bá ṣeré ni. You must always have a place. Every king and queen must have their private personal spaces where that ordinary human being àbíwá ṣiṣẹ́. Ààrẹ agbára àbàjẹ́, ìyà fàyà. Because when you see yourself truly, the way people see you when you have walked dignified in the privacy of your space, lójú ìyàwó àtàwọn ọmọ ẹ, wàá máa kàbùkù. Kí ló dé tí soldiers ní bad reputation? Why are some military personnel living lonely, turning PTSD? Because that military staunch, they don't know how to laugh, they don't know how to cry, they don't know how to. You now go to your home and rule your children, your kingdom, your own people, your wife. With the same, but she need the same desire, so máa bọ́ pátá sílẹ̀ láàárọ̀, wà ná kó síyàwó ẹ̀. Ó dẹ̀ fẹ́ kóbìnrin yẹn gbà ẹ́ pẹ̀lú fẹ́. See, lovemaking starts in the day when the sun is bright and you're running to work. Hi, sweetie. Should I pack on Jamie? About everything. And when you come back, ó rẹ̀ mí o, ẹ pẹ̀lẹ́, baálé mi. Hi, darling. Báwo ni ẹ pẹ̀lẹ́? Ọlọ́run á jẹ́ kójú yín ṣe o. Then when you get into the bedroom at night, you will perform like lion and lioness. If your wives and husbands are not holding you close enough, It's because of what you have done during the day. Just because you have sexual desires doesn't mean suddenly the other person have to feel appreciated or relaxed or comfortable to let themselves be. Not just nakedness of the body, but to let themselves be at their lowest point and look nakedness of the heart, of the raw emotions that keeps marriages and relationships alive. All our children that now think that they're grown and they can do things by themselves need to understand that it takes a lot of wisdom. I remember some of the friends that my father, actually most of them, I don't want you to deal with that person. That person is bad. But my father could see. In fact, they have now rebranded themselves. Because some of them actually paid for ticket from Italy to go to my sister's party. Ó jẹ́ kí n máa bẹ̀rù wọn pé bóyá wọ́n lè lò wọ́n fi fún mi ní gọmọlé bí Yorùbá ṣe ń operate ó jẹ́ kó yé yín. Àwọn ẹni tẹ́ ń gbọ́n pé rí mọ́ ṣe lọ gbá Àríjàn wá suddenly t'Àríjàn wá ń sọ̀rọ̀ Bíọ́lá àti Ìyábọ̀. Torí wọ́n ti gbọ́ lórí show Lizzy so many times pé Àríjàn bọ̀bọ̀ yẹn ò yí sí o èèyàn dáadáa ní ọ̀gá òun ní Abẹ́òkúta lára àwọn ọ̀gá òun tí ó gba gbẹ̀rẹ̀ wọ́n dẹ̀ mọ́mọ́ lọ hire. Have the people in your life hired the people closest to you to bring you down? Jẹ́ pé àwọn nǹkan tó ń sọ̀rọ̀ wọn ò mọ̀ dé ọ̀rọ̀ ìbá nǹkan tán kàn fi wọ́n lórí peripheral làwọn náà fi pé wọ́n package tó wọ́n gbé fáwọn káwọn wá fi ṣàánú. You on TikTok started just bombasting Funke Akindele, and I know where your narration and your narratives are going. Ẹ fẹ́ pull it down ni, ẹ fẹ́ kó ṣe sinimá kó jẹ́ number 1 mọ́, ẹ fẹ́ rògbò ẹ̀ fún Ìyábọ̀ àti Tóyìn. Ó ti sún yín pé ọmọ tó wà lókè báwo ló ṣe ń dá ṣe, Ọlọ́run ló dá. Ẹni kò fine àgbà bẹ́ẹ̀, we love am like that. I stand for the voice that love truth and justice, that notice hard working, tá ní gbé ògo ọmọ tó ń ṣiṣẹ́ fún ọ̀lẹ tí ò deserve. I stand radical. I stand gidigba. Ẹ̀yin abiyamọ ayé tẹ́ gbó ti tọrọ dání, ẹ̀yin ni kẹ́ wá kún mi lọ́wọ́. Ẹ má gbé ògo fúnlẹ̀ o. Ọlọ́run fúnra rẹ̀ kò kí ń gbógo fúnlẹ̀, ó máa ń gbé ògo fẹ́ni tó dàbí ọ̀lẹ lójú yín torí nǹkan tó ń ṣe ẹ̀rí òun náà ti làágùn lẹ́yìn ilẹ̀kùn. Ọlọ́run wá gbógo fún yẹn ní gbangba. Ọlọ́run ò ní ever. It says who does not work should not eat. Ọlọ́run ò ní ever ra iyì. Bí àwọn òbí kan ṣe ń lọ sọ́dọ̀ babaláwo, ẹ jẹ́ kọ́mọ yẹ gba kádàrá ẹ gbogbo ẹ gbé fọ́mọ eléyìí. Ọlọ́run ò ní bá yín ṣe. Cain and Abel, God let that happen because one listened and one did not. Abel sacrificed the biggest of his fat and his possession, of his cattle, to sacrifice unto God. But Cain ò gbọ́ràn, ó kàn mú ẹran kan, ó dẹ̀ gbé fọ́lọ́run. Read and understand between the lines. Ẹ má bọ́ aṣọ yìí lára Fúnkẹ́ o. Ẹ má ti ọwọ́ bọ ògo Fúnkẹ́ tẹ́ bá fẹ́ kéèyàn ti ọwọ́ bọ ògo àwọn ọmọ yín. I was expecting her to not necessarily stand up and fight for Lizzy because her war kingdom fight in the warriors, but at least to mind her lane. All we're saying is live and let other people live. Mind your damn lane. You did, she must be obeyed. So you know the difference. You saw something, God spoke to you, that you must be obeyed. Kò sí movie tó ṣe fún kẹ́tí ò ṣe pọ́ lọ́n ló fún ẹ ní discernment àti gift yẹn. Tọ́lọ́n bá wá kún ẹ lọ́wọ́ tó wá gbẹ́nu èèyàn wọ̀ tó wá fẹ́ fi baṣẹ́ ọwọ́ ẹ jẹ́ kọ́lọ́n ṣiṣẹ́ ìdílé láyé ẹ̀ náà. You are not married right now. Bóyá o jẹ́ èèyàn kan dó wọ́n ní secret kan lọ́wọ́ kí náà fẹ́ sọ. If God loves you, he loves you. Mo lẹ́ni tọ́lọ́run bá ti dá tán kò ṣe farawé. Beauty kan la fi ń ṣe. Oprah Winfrey was much more ugly. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe rí bí ò ṣe fáìn lójú yín tó yìí. Owó ló sì sọ di bẹ́ẹ̀. Ìyàwó Obama gbà tán gbé jáde. Kò ṣe pé bóyá bẹ́ẹ̀ bá rí ilẹ̀ tí máa fò mọ́. Kò dẹ̀ ń ṣènà kí torí mi ò lè dáyàn kankan. But owó tuntun ni ṣe ni. Ṣé bẹ́ẹ̀ mi ṣe rí rè 5 years ago? Ó láwọn pictures mi kan tí Facebook bá gbé wọ́n ṣe ni máa ń delete ẹ̀. Irọ́ ò dáa. Owó ló jẹ́ kí n dán. Àwọ̀ mi wà about 2 shades or 3 shades darker than this. Ó wá bọ́ sí pé mi ò pupa mi ò dúdú, mo kàn rí bákan ṣá lójú ara mi gan láìkẹ́ tí ń bá rí. Àwọn èèyàn ní mo fáìn bọ̀ kò tẹ́ mi lọ́rùn, èmi ni mò ń sọ mi sọ ti yín o. gbogbo iṣẹ́ ọwọ́ Ọlọ́run tó ṣe pátápátá àtàwa ta feel pé a improve lórí ara wa tá lo vitamins tá lo so many things láti fi tún skin ara wa ṣe Ọlọ́run ti ṣe foundation yẹn ni ṣé tó bá sí láyé wà ráyè tó skin ṣe. So I'm not taking the glory away from God. I'm just trying to tell you that sometimes it takes a little change too. I mean, come on now. Let me tell you show you what I'm talking about. I'm 58. Mo tún ra mi ṣe débí ni. Kò ṣubú lù mí. Ìgbà mi ẹ̀kan ni máa jẹun lójúmọ́. I don't want us to separate the spiritual from the physical, or the physical from the spiritual, or our actions and reactions to things. Tí ogun bá ń bọ̀ lọ́nkọ́, ìwọ tó rí tó ń sá bó ṣe sá, ogun bọ̀, ogun bọ̀. Bó o bá tiẹ̀ lè ṣe yẹn, wàá ṣáàdù orí ara ẹ̀. I'm not here to advise anybody, but I'm painting the picture of the options around. And I'm here to beg those people. Ẹ ṣe dáríjì. Fúnkẹ́ ní right láti má dá Tóyìn lóhùn. Ó ní right láti má dá mi lóhùn. Tí Fúnkẹ́ bá rí mi, no matter what, oore tó ti lè ṣe fáwọn ọmọ mi, tí mo wá fi yẹn jáde láàárọ̀ tí mo fi pé mo lè sọ̀rọ̀ fún, torí kò sanwó fún mi kò pè mí. Kò bẹ̀ mí, mi ò dẹ̀ sọ fáwọn ọmọ mi kí n tó máa ṣe nǹkan tí mò ń ṣe. She has a right to feel offended, even tó bá fi pé mo defend òun. Kò rán mi iṣẹ́, bí Lizzie ò ṣe rán mi iṣẹ́. But ibi tí ọkàn mi bá ti ń worry mi, at 58 I should be able to freely speak. Àgàgà tí ó ṣe ètò gbowó fún mi àbí tó lè fi ibi pa mí nù wọn. See, behind the scenes, I was there. And ọmọ ṣiṣẹ́ mo máa ń like wọn. Kò ń ṣojú lásán náà fi ń ṣe. Ìwọ tó fẹ́ gbà yìí ni, tó fẹ́ gbà pò mí, ṣé o lè ṣe ṣá? Ṣé lè ṣe? Àbò fẹ́ gbà fọlọ́run kí wọn náà lọ bẹ̀rẹ̀ láti gbogbo ẹ̀ka. Fúnkẹ́. Ó ti lose guard, ó ti bọ́ sí àwọn circles kan. I'm not one to look down on people. No. But I want to go down into the dungeons and the depths of the earth to ask people. We cannot pay due diligence. Kan tó fẹ́ wọṣọ, irú aṣọ yìí, aṣọ ẹ̀yẹ, aṣọ ìmọ̀. Táwọn tó wà bí irú mi ní, tàbá tiẹ̀ tí ìwòwò fi ṣe. People need to pay due diligence and follow due process. Acting náà kò ń ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ ló easy náà. Tẹ́ bá fi pé bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn ni production and direction, ká máa kọrin even pẹ̀lú AI. Tẹ́ bá fi pé bó ṣe easy yẹn, make it go run am. So easy ni. Kò easy. To get the loan and the investment for people to put in you, to trust you, to deliver. Tó bá tiẹ̀ jẹ́ pé lóòótọ́ tó bá pa $10 billion, one kọ́bọ̀ ló ń wà pò wọn. Be honest, one kọ́bọ̀ ni. Ìyẹn ò dẹ̀ fà yá aṣọ ara wọn yá. Ìyẹn náà ń pè ní tẹ́lọ́rùn. Because nínú ẹ̀ ní Fúnkẹ́ ti pàdé oore kò purọ́ ẹ̀, ó pàdé oore. Inú ẹ̀ ní Lizzie ti pàdé oore kò purọ́ ẹ̀, ó ń pàdé oore. Ibi ká bá ti ń ṣe iṣẹ́ ìdọ̀tí àbí iṣẹ́ ìríra, ibi iṣẹ́ tí ò tó tà fi bá tọmọ ẹni jẹ́, àfi bá tán ní làkejì jẹ́, tá ń láàgùn lé lórí, ibẹ̀ lọ́lọ́run ti ń pàdé wa. If you are going to get richer than your parents are, your effort alone will not do tó bá jẹ́ tílọ̀. Aṣọ mélòó ló fẹ́ rán? Pẹ̀lú gbogbo complicated styles tó ń rìn sí, ẹjọ́ aṣọ mélòó ló fẹ́ rán lóṣù kan kó má jáde rárá, kó má jẹun, kó má dìde lọ́tọ̀. Aṣọ mélòó lè yan ẹyọ kan lè rán láti fi di olówó, ọlọ́lá, olókìkí. Ju pé k'Ọlọ́run fún wa ní grace àti kówó jọ ká wá gbà wọn tí ò ní yìí tó wá, tán lówó tó wá, tán lálàáfíà tó wá ń gbà míì, ká wá kó wọn sábẹ́, ká bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní kán bá wa ṣiṣẹ́ láì bá tí wọn jẹ́, tán bá tó time tán ti bá wa ṣiṣẹ́ tó yẹ pé mọ́tò la lówó nínú èrè tán ti bá wa pa tó jẹ́ tiwa, tá lè yọ̀ǹda fún wọn káwọn náà fi jó lóríire. But kò ń ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe rò ó nìyẹn. Fẹ́ sọ jáyé. Táyé bá já kó ṣe so. Fẹ́ sọ jáyé o. Táyé bá já kó ṣe so. Fẹ́ sọ jáyé, fẹ́ sọ jáyé, fẹ́ sọ jáyé o. Táyé bá já kó ṣe so. Tẹpá mọ́ṣẹ́, tí iṣẹ́ bá tán kó sóúnjẹ. Tẹpá mọ́ṣẹ́ o. Tí iṣẹ́ bá tán kò sóúnjẹ. Tẹpá mọ́ṣẹ́, tẹpá mọ́ṣẹ́, tẹpá mọ́ṣẹ́ o. Tí iṣẹ́ bá tán kò sóúnjẹ. Iṣẹ́ lògùn iṣẹ́. Múra síṣẹ́ ọ̀rẹ́ mi. Iṣẹ́ ni a fi ń di ẹni gíga. Àwa ní di ẹni gíga tán ká kó gbogbo èrè iṣẹ́ yẹn ká dẹ̀ fọwọ́ ara wa dà sínú òkun. As you're watching me today, I don't care where you are, anywhere around the world. As an adult, you have a right to pick the influences that affect you, the friends that you have, the friends that you can see something special in them, but they're not the kind of friends you want to be with in public. It's not hypocrisy. It's called self-preservation, humility, self-respect, and dignity. Because it's not humility. Somebody ẹ pẹ̀lú drug dealers, somebody ẹ pẹ̀lú blackmailer, somebody ẹ pẹ̀lú kíní. Kò fi pé yẹn náà pè ní humility. Ìgbéraga dẹ̀ kọ́ ìmọ̀ra ọmọ ẹni ni. I want us all to learn a certain lesson today, even as I played with the fans and lovers of Funke Akindele. I jumped to along. Because that was my first initial when Oga didn't listen Shadabi now. I'm a warrior. Listen Shadabi. And it over pa mi ko ba. Good as shape. Ẹ jẹ́ ká fi àánú, ká fi yànnàná to take the patience, to take a brighter light, to look at things so we don't lump them all together and are able to separate. Ṣé ní nǹkan táwọn ọmọ tó wà lórí TikTok yẹn tó ń fẹ́ try láti ṣe yẹn láti faṣọ iyì Fúnkẹ́ ya kán lè gbé ògo ẹ̀ fún Tóyìn àti Ìyábọ̀ lórí àríńzò tó ń fẹ́ ṣe ànígbà fún wọn. Ànígbà àjà ẹ̀yin sisters mi lórí TikTok. Mo kàn sọ pé ẹ jẹ́ ká tètè mẹ́ni tó jẹ́ káàánú wa àtẹni tó ń ṣe ti Olúwa. Ṣé bẹ́ẹ̀ ló le tó ní tẹ́ fẹ́ sọ di major topic pé Tóyìn kí Fúnkẹ́ ò dáhùn. Ẹ̀gbọ́n mi gan kí mi mo lè má dáhùn gbá mi torí mi bá gbá ski. Tó bá gba náà. Bàbá mi gan lè kí mi gbà mí kí má dáhùn. Yes, mo ti lè gbà ẹgbẹ́ àwọn tó jantis mi kọjá rí. It's nothing new. When two people have a dispute, kò ń ṣe kẹfàyàn kan wá sílẹ̀ ta ló sọ yín di ẹrú olùgbèjà ayé tẹ̀ ń dayé rú gan-an. Ta ló fún yín lágbára láti cancel èèyàn kan, kẹ́ gbogbo èèyàn kan, kẹ́ gbadé lórí èèyàn kan, kẹ́ gbé fẹ́yàn kan. Ta ló fún ẹ̀yin ìkà, ẹ̀yin ìyá jẹ, ìyá òṣòròǹgà, ẹ̀yin ẹni òkùnkùn, ta ló fún yín lágbára láti bọ́ aṣọ yìí lọ́wọ́ ẹni tẹ́ni tó ṣiṣẹ́ débẹ̀? Tẹ̀fẹ̀ gbé fẹ́ni tẹ́ pè léyàn tí yín. Olè náà pè jágbà. 419. Ìkà àbàtẹnijẹ́ náà ń pèrú ẹ̀. Ẹgbẹ́nu kúrò ń bẹ́ẹ̀ kó lọ. It's not going to work. Lóòótọ́ ni mi ò understand why Funke did not stay neutral. Tó lọ kó sáà ní set wọn because it's a setup. But at the same time, mi ò ní lè fẹ́ kù pàjẹ́. I want wisdom to speak to us this morning. I want mercy to touch us. A lè dáyé ṣe, a lè dáyé gbé, but a ní rìn láàrin ọ̀tá. A ní gbóúnjẹ ọ̀tá jẹ. A dẹ̀ ní fún ọ̀tá láyè láti borí wa. We all need to wake up. Let's accept who we are and how we're struggling and the methods we're using to try to make it. Ṣó dìgbà tí téèyàn kan bá bàjẹ́ kí tẹ̀yin kan tó dá ní. Owó ìkànnì ṣé ìwà pé kí tọmọ yín bàjẹ́ kí tara lékejì lè fi dá. As long as tó bá ti gbàdúrà kí tọmọ ẹ bàjẹ́, kí kọ́kọ́ ẹ bàjẹ́, kí tìyá ẹ bàjẹ́, kí táwọn tó jẹ́ tiẹ̀ gangan bàjẹ́, kí tẹlòmíì lè dá. Ẹ jẹ́ ká fi ìbẹ̀rù Ọlọ́run bára wa lọ́wọ́. Ẹ jẹ́ kó tọrọ lékè láyé wa. Ẹ jẹ́ ká ní ẹ̀mí ìbániwí kó má di ẹ̀mí ìbániláyé jẹ́. I know it is very hard for most of us to stand by and watch God do his punishment in the lives of people that feel people deserve it. Èmi náà ti ṣe rí o, even for my own son, màá jẹ́ kó jìyà díẹ̀, but mi ní jẹ́ kó jẹ́ tán ọ̀la mi mo fẹ́ bàjẹ́ yẹn, màá ti wá fọwọ́ fẹ́ fà padà. Funke, just in case you're so naive on your writing and production and everything to bọ́ ẹ lójú. Ṣé òpó ọwọ́ mi ni? Ṣé òpó rí bí nǹkan ṣe ń lọ ni? Ṣé òpó rí báwọn kan ṣe ń gbógun lábẹ́? Ṣé òpó mọ̀ ká táwọn ẹ̀dá ń ṣe ni? Ó dẹ̀ dúró nílé ni. Ó ti ń ṣe dáadáa without these people. Ọlọ́run gbogbo fún ẹni kò sẹ́ni tó lè ṣe lórí ẹ̀. máa gbọ́ language mi o Fúnkẹ́ mo ní kò sẹ́ni tó lè ṣe lórí ẹ̀ àfi fún ìwọ fún ara ẹ̀ tó o bá fọwọ́ ara ẹ̀ ṣe báyìí tó dẹ́ pé fún wọn mi ò sọ pé kò lè bọ́ lórí ẹ̀ but bí n ṣe gbàdúrà kó gu ọmọ mi bọ́ lórí ẹ̀ mi ò gbọdọ̀ gbà fún ẹ. ṣé mo pé cowboy's hat I'm a Texan I shoot from both hips ìmúdé wọlé bó ṣe wà yìí kò sí aláya vacuum kò sí aláya hair blower kò sí aláya béèyàn ṣe lè lájẹ tó àbí kó ní magic kó sì fìlà lórí mi ìṣe wà mí èmi ni mo fọwọ́ ara mi dé Ọlọ́run ló fún ni ní ìmọ̀ àti òye láti dé èmi nìkan ni mo lè fọwọ́ ara mi ṣí tí n bá wá ṣe tán mo lè sọ látojú window mo lè fi kó já sílẹ̀ bẹ́yẹn mo dẹ̀ lè fi síbi tó dáa let this be a lesson for us all Bọ́látadé báwo ni hi darling báwo ni ṣé wà àǹtí ńkọ́ it is well with you ẹ má sọ ẹ jẹ́ kọ́lọ́ máa fi wọ̀nyí pẹ́ ni tọ́lọ́run bá ti dáńtọ́ kò ṣe farawé but òun lè farawé yàn ó lè farawé ibi tó ti máa faṣọ yẹ ara ya ó lè farawé ibi táṣọ ti máa bọ́m díẹ̀ ó lè farawé ibi tádé orí ẹ̀ ti máa jábọ́ ó lè farawé ibi tó ti máa ní ọ̀tá kún ọ̀tá ó lè farawé ibi tó ti máa dá gbogbo ṣẹ́wọ́ ara inú. So it is true. When God says yes, nobody can say no, except the person God has said yes to, because He's the God of free will. He has given us the chance to create our own path. Ọlọ́run ní bá ìjà sí. So tọ́lọ́run bá gbé oúnjẹ àárọ̀ fún ẹ tó bá gbé fólógbò, ó lè dùn, but ìwọ ló láyé ẹ. Funke Akindele, I'm going to say this and I'm going to let it go. Whoever has wisdom, let God open your eyes. Because I didn't come here to talk to you in my strength and power. I came here because that is what was laid on my heart. These games that Nigerians are playing out of desperation, trying to pick people from the gutters who didn't know how to say ta, ta, ta. And then you're giving them statistics and advanced mathematics. The same way the government has used to rule us and blinded a lot of you. Wọ́n máa wọn ọmọ tí ò ní lọ́wọ́ tó ń rọ̀ pa wọn léde pé táwọn wà, wọ́n wá gbé ọmọ ọba fún wọn. Gbogbo àwọn tó wá ń ṣiṣẹ́ tó ń struggle, all the people, Ponzi scheme ni. That's how bad people, wicked blackmailers think. Àwọn tó ń ní nǹkan kan ṣe, but wọ́n fẹ́ jókòó sípò yẹn. Wọ́n wá tọ́jú 30%, wọ́n wá mú 70%, ìyá máa jẹ wọ́n. So when the 70% ń kígbe, ẹgbàá mi ò ló jẹjẹ o, ọmọ mi ò lọ sanwó school. Àwọn 30% tó ń rí jẹ nínú ẹ̀yẹn, àwọn náà máa dúró Josie. Tengo, your name doesn't sound like Nigerian. I'm going to tell you something that all people around the world can use as wisdom. I'm telling you how wicked, intentioned people do. Those that God has given, He gave it to them. Wisdom, but they have decided to depart and use it in evil ways. That's why you have a friend that is wicked and mean and disrespectful to you. And when you try to talk to the rest of your friends or family, they tell you, Rara, that person is never like that because they are intentioned and calculating. They are wicked to you behind closed doors, but wonderful to everybody around you. And everybody will say, is it only you? You're always complaining. What has this person done to you? Because they didn't see. Because the people that are involved are well-intentioned. They know the power of manipulation and they will destroy a whole nation. That's what the Nigerian government is doing. They have picked people you don't know, never heard of their names, never thought they could at least even be able to afford one meal. Now they are affording multiple meals. Bare men becoming like Obi Kubana and Chief Priest suddenly becoming as equal in the minds of some people to Otedola. Those that have worked for it, exercised and invested and lost and gained until God stabilized them. They take people from the goddess and they put them in greatest power. So just like Trump, Donald Trump here, the president of America has done. Eyes. People say eyes doesn't care. America has changed. You know why they are? They are not American eyes. No longer immigration service for the people of America. They are now Donald Trump's personal army. Let me tell you what Donald Trump did. All the law enforcement officers that have been charged with rape, kidnapping, corruption, Donald Trump gave them amnesty. Oh, what's on the eyes? Don't you see? Mask is so that the people, those people have once offended, could not detect them amongst the crowds. Oh, to a badge, but they can break down your doors and harass your husbands and kill your wives and waylay your children. In public, they shoot back, 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 and nobody can hold them accountable. That's what wicked leaders do. They free the people in the dungeon that are dark and unqualified, that are decay and disgrace to society, and they empower them to come against you. The same way the British colonized us in the beginning. Did you ever ask yourself how the Britain and all these people gained power in slave trade? See, we were not enough as black Africans to have supported their cause. We were fighting. So they relaxed. You know what they did? Queen Elizabeth and her army and the people in the royal army came up with the idea, why don't we start and say we're going to help them? So they formed the royal army, the Queen's own, Queen Elizabeth's own army. And we thought it was a promotion. Those people had all the assets. They wore the best of uniforms. They would never seen anything like that today. In those days, they lived in the best of quarters. They gave them money and compensations. And they raised our people to come against our people. And with their help, they were able to capture us and sell us into slavery. There is no evil that has ever befallen the African continent that they were not first compensated to sell us out. So as much as we hate the British and think we need reparations, what have we done to look on the inside and question ourselves about how disloyal some of our forefathers were? Ọwọ́ ẹni la fi ń tún tẹni ṣe. Ọwọ́ ẹni la fi ń bà tẹni jẹ́. I just needed to share those wisdoms with you. And this is a disclaimer. Funke Akindele never contacted me. I've not seen her in real life. I've only felt some of the goodness in her life. I have friends that said, Funke Modesi o toju mi o she. But at the same time, justice says that I should speak the truth and stand gidigba with Liz Anjorin. I will always be a warrior from now to the end of times. The day Lizzie stops to do the right thing, which I don't think she ever will. Because when she talks, you see the fire in her voice, in her bones, in her life. But if you on this internet can decide who can kill and go scot-free, then the voices of justice must arise and tell you that is not the way it works. If you can show mercy to a woman that came here that almost got Naira Marley killed, if you can overlook her walking by the poolside in bikini at her age, because if I did that, I might have blog. No, that is not justice. That is hypocrisy. That is intimidation. That is blackmail. So we got to speak up. Because what is good for the geese should be good for the gander. Ẹ̀mí ìdáríjì tó wà lọ́rọ̀ yín, tẹ́ ẹ̀ jáwèrè, tẹ́ ẹ̀ lọ́pọlọ yín dànù. Tẹ́ fi ń lò pẹ̀lú àwọn tó jẹ́ ti yín. We demand from the other side that you use the same thing and tread softly and carefully with us. We're no longer afraid. Wọ́n dóyàn bóyá ẹ lè sọ pé mo dóyàn. Ẹ̀yin ò ń dóyàn. Wọ́n ti sí ìlògùn yín pẹ̀lú sellotape. Ẹ̀yin ò ṣiṣẹ́ láyé yín o. Ẹ ṣe mistake rí. Yet you are picking up gbogbo àwọn ọmọ ológo one by one. Ẹ dẹ̀ fẹ́ báyé wọn jẹ́. Tọ́n bá ti bá Tóyìn jà wàhálà yín. Ẹni tó bá ní wàhálà pẹ̀lú Ìyábọ̀ ó ti di wàhálà yín. Who died that made you kings and queens? We're all kings and queens. No life is more important than the other. Ibi tọ́rọ̀ bá ṣe sí ní kẹ́ jẹ́ ká sọ̀rọ̀ sí. Funke is not ugly. Èèyàn mélòó nínú ẹbí yín ni ò ṣe mú bọ́tà. Àwọn ọmọ ẹ̀gbọ́n ọmọ àbúrò mélòó ló ń bí tamúrégé jìgá. Èwo lójú ẹ̀fọ́, èwo lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀rọ. Báyé ṣe rí nìyẹn. Mixture ní gbogbo nǹkan. When you call somebody like Funke ugly, what do you want to call some of the people that are really ugly? Stop! Ẹ má ṣàràbù mọ́. Ibi tọ́rọ̀ bá ṣẹlẹ̀ sí ní kẹ́ jẹ́ ká sọ sí. Let us be fair. Justice is fairness. How can wicked people ẹtùtù lẹ́ni ẹgbóná lọ́la ẹtùtù lẹ́ni ẹgbóná lọ́la ẹ̀yin lẹ fẹ́ máa ṣèdájọ́ lórí íńtánẹ́ẹ̀tì ẹ fẹ́ intimidate wa. But I speak not proudly. I speak with humility and truth and passion. Fire in my heart for justice. Live and let's live. Stop judging between two friends or people who have done together, except if that person. Tony, jáde kó sọ̀rọ̀. What's in any green snake under the green grass? This will prove if you still have an altar of salvation within your bones. Even if you didn't pay these people, you know you must be cautioning them because traffic to their page. Every artist, every actor must take the mantle of responsibility the same way I challenge Papa Tinubu and Mama Remi Tinubu to come out and tell Remi Surutu, Sunday Igboho, gbogbo èyí tẹ́ ń threaten wa pé tó bá vote for Tinubu ẹ máa pa wá. We live in a democracy. Ẹni tó bá wù mí ni mo lè vote for. Don't take away my voice. I'm begging of you. Ebelambo Shita. Please. This is a serious matter. Let Funke live. If you want a position, walk your way there. Invest your life in there. Stop picking people from the gutters. You can pick people from the gutters, but they have to go through due process. Build one. Don't use them as weapons against those that are working hard every day. Iyabo, stop it! Stop gathering all the people that are desperate and needing help to weaponize them against your colleagues in the industry. Ojutila. Stop! Stop letting the people on TikTok and Instagram do your damage work for you. I'm begging you. My sister Lacho, I can't stand you. Because my spirit tells me. But it's not my place to throw you away altogether. So maybe this case will not fly and you will use that to redeem yourself. The other day when one of my cousins was having a birthday, my sister is Princess Abigail Oluwakemi Oshodi. And she was like, when you talk about because she had badly misbehaved. You guys don't know that our worlds are blended. Tọ́pẹ́ Àlàbí ò lè mọ̀ pé mo kórìíra àwọn débẹ̀ yẹn fún wà tó ṣìwò sí yèyé mẹ́sàn. Báwo ló ṣe lè ṣọ́ra ètò? There's a lady here that goes to Skid Row, the homeless, and she did so much for them. A ṣe mú fún wọn, a ṣe nails, a ṣe nǹkan náà, a fún wọn lówó, a tọ́jú wọn. Do you know she was poisoned and killed? Or you guys still don't believe that people can poison you and get rid of you? You need to keep your circle small. You need to let neutrality and kindness speak for you. Agbára kọ́nà fi ń ṣe owó kọ́nà fi ń ṣe ọgbọ́n làákàyè àtàánú Olúwa la fi ń borí. Why do you tọ́lọ́run ti gbé sípò gíga? Tó o jókòó ara ẹ jẹ́jẹ́ tó o bá tiẹ̀ ní gbèjà ayé má jẹ́ kó dàbí ẹni pé o gbèjà bí Fúnkẹ́ o bá ti má gba Fọlá Tinubu láyè nítòsí ẹ rárá. Ogun tó kó jára ẹ ó pọ̀ jù. Kò sẹ́ni tó lè bá sá. Olówó kò sẹ́ni tó lè advice olówó. That is why a lot of you man ṣiṣẹ́. Tẹ́ bá dẹ̀ máa wọ ẹ̀ ní ríbi sásímọ́. Tó bá lọ kí olówó, tó bá gbáyàwó ẹ̀ létí, tó bá sọ pé ọ̀gá ẹ bá má ṣe bẹ́yẹn bó bá lọ kò ní fún ẹ lówó mọ́tò. So a lot of people in power don't really get people to tell them the truth. Àfi tọ́lọ́run bá fún wọn ní humility àti wisdom láti ṣìrántí ibi tán wà kan tó lówó yẹn lọ́wọ́. Bóyá ọ̀rẹ́ mọ́ sí ẹ kan ló máa lọ wá tó máa padà sọ́dọ̀ ẹ̀ tó máa ṣèyà fún ẹ. Kí reality lè bá ẹ. No adult can do it on that. Ṣé níbi ṣe gbọ́n tó yìí? Àǹtí Ṣìkẹ́, Àǹtí Mọ́lọ́lá mi wọ́n lọ́dọ̀ wọn ò funky bíi tèmi but mo mọ yìí to get tight so that mi ò ní atẹ́gùn ò ní gbé mi lọ bí kite. Reality, keep your feet on the ground. They don't have to be like me with steez and sexy, but I know what truth is. Tó bá dojú kú kò mọ sexy o. Tí Lady Diana bá lè kú, tí Queen Elizabeth lè fipò yẹn sílẹ̀, kò mọ sexy o. There's nothing tẹ́ gbé dání, tẹ́mi gbé dání tí mo rò pé mo ní téṣù lè gbà dànù tí n bá fún láyé. That's all I'm here. I saw you. Ó máa jẹ́ kó súnyàn ni. And I hope that many more voices that are Funke Akindele's lovers begin to speak up. Káwọn tí èṣù dà sílẹ̀ yìí, kó má fi ọwọ́ ba òkú ẹ̀ jẹ́. Funke, your next movie, tọ́lọ́run bá fún mi ní grace, if I could, I would invest in it. You are an amazing human being. Life tó ti touch. Even you don't know how amazing you are. So, tẹ́ bá rí tógun jáyàn, kò ṣe dandan ní kẹjọ rẹ̀. And once tẹ́ bá ti lè dúró kẹjà, bí Funke ó ṣe lè dúró kó gbèjà Lizzy, kó maintain me. Because sometimes, just now going to the opposition declares where you stand. Wọ́n dẹ̀ máa kó ẹ mọ́ orúgbà ni. That's the only thing that Funke has done well. She didn't know. She refused to learn. And she had nonchalance. Disregard yẹn máa ń pa wá gan ní Naija. Nǹkan tó lè pààyàn a máa fọwọ́ ra lórí bí ẹni pé tọ́ ẹni. And that shouldn't be. Mr. Lee, báwo ni ẹ̀gbọ́n mi? Ó tọ́jọ́ mẹ́ta, please. Yorùbá ni wá, ọmọ Yorùbá ni mí o. Mi ò lè purọ́ pé mi ò mọ nǹkan tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀. Mo lè pretend kí ní steez, mo ti di PhMP nsìn, mo láwọn ọ̀rẹ́ tó jẹ́ doctors and all that. Irọ́ ni gbogbo ẹ ti dàpọ̀. Ayé ti lu jára. That's it, ayé lu jára. Bá a ṣe ní bara wa lórúkọ jẹ́, ká bà àwọn ọmọ wa lójú jẹ́. Tọ́lọ́run ò ní fà ti jẹ wá síbi tó nira. That's the most important thing. I'm an all-rounder. Take me into the King's Palace I fit in. You take me to Abúlé ìyá mi. Kí n jókòó sílẹ̀ báyìí kí n máa fọwọ́ wá gàrí. Kò sí èyí tí ò bá mi lára mu. Ìyẹn kọ́ ló ń bọmọ jẹ́. Nǹkan tó ń bọmọ jẹ́ ni ká má mọ bí ta fẹ́ tò sí. Ká má kóra ẹni níjànú. Ká dẹ̀ má jẹ́ kọ́lọ́run fi wá ṣe pàṣán ní àwọn tó ń lọ jẹ́jẹ́. Stay in your lane. Don't go for people who don't go for you. Don't let your emotions and sentiments overrule your judgment. Tó bá wà nídìí mú fọgbọ́n ìmọ̀ àti òye àti bẹ̀rù Ọlọ́run sọ. Please, Yeka, Elizabeth Adeola Shitty. Ire, I love you. I love you all. Yeye Mesho. Liz Anjorin, warrior for life. She meeting in club. But God raised us up all around the world to speak the truth to power. When those that think that they're better than us have run inside and just minding their business. This is our own little contributions to the world. Please. It is what it is. Ire o, ó dàbọ̀. I love you. Ọjọ́ ajé, àríṣe, àrítà, àrílà, Ọlọ́run á ṣínà fún wa. Ẹ̀wọ̀n ní bábàtà ọ̀fọ̀ sẹ́nu ọ̀nà kọ́kán ní wa. Àwọn tó ti rí tẹ́lẹ̀ wọn ní rírú ẹ̀ mọ́. Gbogbo ibi tẹ́ fọkàn sí, orí àwa yín rí. Ọ̀nà àṣẹ, ọ̀nà àlà, ibikíbi tá bá wà ní orígun mẹ́rẹ̀ẹ̀rin ayé. Ọlọ́run ò ní jẹ́ kí ògo wa wọlẹ̀. Ògo àwọn ọmọ wa ò ní wọlẹ̀. Gbogbo èyí tá à ń ṣe ń sin àwọn ọmọ wa jẹ́ṣẹ́ ọwọ́ wa. Ẹni tó bá ṣèbàjẹ́ ní kó lọ yí ọkàn padà. I remember when I had a fight with my ex and driver like me gan Kazeem. Ó wá bá mi nígbà gàdàǹgbà yẹn lẹ́yìn tí mo kó kúrò Maryland. Ó ní madam ẹ̀ẹ́dẹ̀jọ́ ẹ̀ẹ́dẹ̀ṣánú ọ̀gá ẹ̀ẹ́dẹ̀ṣánú kíní kan ẹ̀ẹ́dẹ̀ṣá. Mo sọ̀rọ̀ máa pe Bísí Òṣòdì. Bísí Ọlábísí Òṣòdì Mrs. Ali. Bá pé mo ní Bísí ìjọba mi mú Bible yẹn. Bísí wá mú Bible yẹn fún mi kò tí màá rí gbà yẹn ó ṣe kéré dé. mo ní Kazeem di Bible yìí mú ó ní madam kí ni kò ń fi ṣe mo ní di Bible yìí mú mo ní máa sọ tẹ̀lé mi pé irú ọkọ tí mo fẹ́ àti irú ìwà tó ń wù fún mi ní kọ́ ló ń ṣe fàkọ̀bí ẹ̀ ó ní madam kí lẹ́ ń ṣépè fún mi ó ní mi ì ṣépè ẹ̀ ṣèbí wọ́n wá bẹ̀ mí kémi lọ torí bọnú ìyá torí ìyá kan àti bàbá kọ̀ọ̀kan ló bí mi torí mi ò ní nǹkan fa orí mi ṣe mi ò ní nǹkan fa ayé mi ṣe torí ọjọ́ tó ń sọ súná mi wọ́n so okó ọkọ mi wọ́n so mọ́ mi lẹ́lẹ́dàá mi pé òun ní kí n kú sínú ẹ̀. It couldn't repeat the words. So the bottom line is you will make the decisions that suit you. I never tell my friends what to do. I only give you options. And that's what I've come to do this morning. Fúnkẹ́ lè gbọ́ lè má gbà ó lè jáde lọ́la kó bùkún yàrá ya mi kó níta ní ọmọ iṣẹ́. But I would know that I have done what God has led me. Did you hear what I said? I said Funke can come tomorrow and deny me. Mi ò mọ̀ rí. Mo dẹ̀ ti sọ síwájú pé mi ò mọ̀ rí. Mi ò ṣàtàṣe, I'm not a name dropper. Yet, Lizzy Anjorin táwọn èèyàn mọ̀ mí mọ́. Mo mọ̀ pé ọmọ ọlọ́gbọ́n, olóye, onírẹ̀lẹ̀, aláàánú ni. I understand why tí mo fi ṣe tó ṣe. Tógun bá wa ń lu. Tá a bá lè parí ogun. A gbọ́dọ̀ máa dákun ogun. So even if Liz and them will never be friends, which I don't pray that they are, because only poison and only by biton burude, I'm just praying that they need to live their life and let her live hers. Live and let's live. I don't have to be your friend. You don't have to be mine, but respect my boundaries and leave me alone. Èèyàn mélòó ni mò ń bá ṣe. Bí Houston ṣe tó, Uncle Tele, you know èèyàn mélòó ni mò ń bá ṣe, èèyàn mélòó mo rí. Yet when I get into parties, because when I lost my son, there were so many people mi ò lè dá wọn mọ̀, mi ò rántí ẹni tó wá, mi ò rántí ẹni tí ò wá. A nítorí orí ẹyọ kan tí Houston ṣe, tán jẹ́ kí n sin ọmọ, kí n feel bí ẹni pé ológbò ló kú, tán dúró tì mí nígbà ṣòro. Ẹlòmíì ò fún mi ní kọ́bọ̀, but they left their own láti rọ̀ mí lẹ́kún. Mo mọ̀ọ́rẹ́ o, City of Houston, mo dúpẹ́ o, ẹ ṣé, ẹ ní rí dààmú, ilẹ̀kùn àánú á ṣí fún yín, mo dúpẹ́. I will never forget the chance you gave me to honorably bury my son. Mo dúpẹ́ o.